Welcome to today's Explainer. We're stepping right into the barn to uncover the hidden, totally microscopic science of feeding dairy cows. If you think farming is just about, tossing some hay into a field and calling it a day, prepare to be amazed. It's actually this incredible biological balancing act, and we're going to explore the fascinating reality of modern dairy nutrition that we found in our sources today. It's the Rumen Balance. Let's get into it.
To get us started, let's look at a quote from a really fun, creative piece of source material we're analyzing. In this dialogue, a cow named Daisy asks a super relatable question. She says, "Sometimes I finish eating, but I still don't feel satisfied. Is that normal?" It's a great hook, right? I mean, who among us hasn't felt exactly like that after a meal? But for a dairy cow, this simple question actually points to a massive, incredibly complex operational challenge.
Which naturally leads us to ask, what does it really take to satisfy a dairy cow? To figure this out, our sources suggest completely moving away from the idea of just filling up an empty stomach. Instead, we're entering the highly calculated world of true, balanced nutrition, where literally every single bite is formulated with absolute scientific precision.
Okay, let's dive into this. There is a critical difference between eating to get full, which is really just a measure of volume, versus eating for balanced nutrients, which is all about supreme quality. As our source material points out, if a dairy ration doesn't have enough energy or the exact right balance of nutrients, the cow's body actually has to work significantly harder just to keep up. It's not about how much they can physically eat. It is entirely about what they're actually consuming.
Section 1. The math of the meal.
So, cow nutrition is this highly precise science, driven by specific calculations. One foundational piece of industry jargon you need to know is dry matter intake, or DMI. This is defined as the amount of feed a cow actually consumes after we mathematically remove all the water content. Now, why is this so absolutely crucial? Well, because the math is undeniable. The more high-quality dry matter a cow can safely consume, the more nutrients she has available. That safe, high-quality DMI is the ultimate driver for her milk production and her long-term health.
But it's not just a numbers game. Presentation matters immensely. Another cow in our source dialogue, Rosie, makes this brilliant observation about behavior. She points out that when feed is fresh, properly mixed, and pushed back toward the cows consistently throughout the day, it actually encourages them to eat more consistently. So what you should really take away from this is that how the feed is presented in the barn is just as important as what's chemically in it.
Section 2. Inside the fermentation tank. Zooming inward from the physical feed bunk to the digestive tract begs a truly fascinating question. I mean, who are we really feeding here? When a nutritionist meticulously crafts a ration and a farmer places it in front of a cow, who is the primary consumer? The biological truth is actually kind of astounding. Farmers aren't really feeding the cow first. They are actually feeding microbes.
The rumen is essentially a giant fermentation tank holding billions of tiny microbes. It's this brilliant, absolutely vital symbiotic relationship. The cow feeds these microbes first, and when those microscopic bugs are happy, well-fed, and thriving, they break down the feed and produce the actual nutrients that the cow's body absorbs to make milk efficiently. It's literally a complete ecosystem working in perfect harmony.
Section 3. Behavioral red flags. Feed sorting. But what happens when that harmony is disrupted? Let's bring back our creative cow dialogue with a little touch of humor here. Daisy the cow admits, sometimes the tasty grains sell at the bottom and the hay stays on top. Some cows pick through the feed and leave the rest. It's basically the bovine equivalent of a toddler eating all the marshmallows out of the cereal and leaving the healthy oats behind.
So the crucial point is, feed sorting might seem like a harmless little habit, but it initiates a severe cascade of negative physical effects. It completely upsets that delicate rumen ecosystem by unbalancing the crucial ratio of forage to concentrate. That unbalance then causes a dangerous spike in stomach acidity and subsequently reduces the cow's cud chewing. Just one picky bite ruins the perfect chemical balance that the nutritionist worked so hard to create.
Our sources highlight something really fascinating about that last point regarding cud chewing. Healthy cows spend many hours every single day ruminating. Cud chewing is not just a quirky, relaxing habit, it's a vital mechanical process. It is exactly how they break down tough fiber, naturally buffer their stomach against that acidity we just talked about, and keep the rumen functioning properly. Honestly, if they stop chewing their cud, the whole system just stalls out.
Section 4. The life cycle menu. One ration cannot fit all.
Stepping back out to look at the broader farm perspective, a cow's nutritional needs just do not stay static. They move along a clear timeline. It starts with calves, moves to growing heifers, then dry cows, into transition or fresh cows, and finally all the way up to high-producing cows. Every single stage on this timeline demands a completely different, highly customized menu. I mean, you simply cannot feed a growing heifer the same ration you would give a high-producing milker and expect good results. It just doesn't work.
Now there is one specific, incredibly high-stakes period we need to talk about: transition cows. Our sources make it very clear that the weeks right before and right after calving are some of the hardest times in a cow's entire life. This narrow window requires the absolute utmost care and highly specialized nutritional attention just to keep her safe.
Why is it so high stakes? Well, because a well-balanced transition diet is the primary defense against severe metabolic diseases. Getting the diet perfectly right during this transition actively reduces the risk of things like milk fever, ketosis, and a displaced abomasum. In this stage, precise nutrition isn't just about making milk, it is literally preventative medicine.
Section 5. The silent language of cows.
So, how do farmers actually monitor all of this complex biology day to day? As the wise cow Bella notes in our source dialogue, good nutrition keeps our rumen healthy, supports our immune system, improves fertility, strengthens our hooves. She's providing us with a comprehensive checklist that proves proper feeding is about holistic animal welfare. It affects her from her hooves all the way to her immune system, well beyond just what goes into the milk tank.
Now, what's really interesting about this is that even though cows can't actually speak to us like they do in our fun source dialogue, they communicate their health directly to the farmer through specific physical indicators. We're talking bright eyes, shiny coats, good appetites, comfortable rumination, and ultimately, a full milk tank. If a farmer knows what to look for, the cow visually tells them absolutely everything they need to know about the success of her diet.
Which brings us to the ultimate synthesis of our explainer today. Modern dairy nutrition is tasked with balancing rations to maximize both animal welfare and farm profitability. It beautifully connects the microscopic health of a single rumen microbe directly to the overarching economic success of the entire farm. It proves definitively that every single mouthful truly matters. I want to deliver this powerful closing message directly from our source text because it truly sums up the entire philosophy. It says, "Feed the rumen well, and the cow will reward you with health, longevity, and high-quality milk." It's just such a profound principle of respect and biological reciprocity between the farmer, the microbes, and the animal. Let's move to our final slide, and I want to leave you with this really provocative thought. Next time you look at a dairy farm, or even just pour yourself a glass of milk, will you just see a herd of hungry cows in a field? Or will you now see billions of complex, microscopic organisms waiting to be fed? It kind of changes everything, doesn't it? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating topic with me today. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.